we really did champion as a city with education was when COVID hit and all the schools closed. We kept it open and we were tutoring and taking care of children. And I think that's one of the reasons that we decided to use our ARPA money from COVID to start our first charter school in the city of Las Vegas in an underserved area. And it's thriving and it's bilingual. And you have people even from my ward that sign up to go there because it's open to all wards.
Welcome to the Sapience Podcast, the podcast that explores the inspiring stories and contributions from influential members of our community. My name is Sam, and today we are delighted to have Councilwoman Victoria Seaman with us. Representing Ward 2 in Las Vegas, Councilwoman Seaman brings a strong background in business and community leadership to her role. She is deeply committed to issues such as economic development, public safety, and enhancing the quality of life for residents. Her approach to governance is shaped by her experience as an entrepreneur and her active involvement in a local business community. Through her initiatives and policies, Councilwoman Seaman aims to foster growth, promote community well-being, and ensure efficient municipal services. Welcome, Councilwoman Victoria Seaman.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to get to talk to you a little bit more today. So I want to start by asking you, can you share with us your journey into politics? How did you get here? What motivated you to join to become Councilwoman of Las Vegas?
So I always say God has the funniest sense of humor because I was a businesswoman who voted but never got involved with politics. And I think that's how a lot of people that get involved in politics later in life jump into it. They're a one-issue person. And my issue was that I came from California nearly 20 years ago, and I brought my business here. And after 5 years, I started to see things change. And I felt overtaxed, overregulated, and kind of wanted to get involved with politics more as a volunteer to help those who had a business background get elected. So that was how I navigated into politics, was to help those who thought like me. I sold my business in 2009 here in Las Vegas and got involved with politics in about 2010. But it doesn't always end up the way that you start. And so here I am. I've spent 2 years in the state legislature and now 5 years as a councilwoman.
Wow.
And there are so many issues that didn't affect me, but now I understand that government can either enhance life or stifle people. So I love what I do. I love public service and I love local government.
Well, that's amazing. And I'm so glad that we have you representing us. I want to ask, what are your main policy priorities for Ward 2 and how do you align these with the broader needs of Las Vegas?
So every ward is different. And that's probably why I'm running for mayor, is because Ward 2 is a more affluent area and their needs are different than Ward 1 and Ward 3. But I think that we can't leave any ward behind. We have to make sure that we're doing as much as we can to make every ward as prosperous as another. Ward 2 has its issues. We're dealing with Badlands in Ward 2, which is a huge issue. But I think it's important that we look at everything holistically and we collaboratively work together as a council, because we have to make sure that the city as a whole everybody has the same equal opportunity.
Absolutely. You have to make sure all puzzle pieces are working together. And so I love that. I think it's so important that you don't single out any ward, that you make sure they're all working cohesively together.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you address or discuss a little bit more about how you championed the impacts in the education community in terms of welfare in your ward specifically?
So, again, I try to look at it more holistically. We do have a Strong Start Academy in the city of Las Vegas that is an amazing program. I was a single mom at one time, and I wish we would have had all those different programs that the city here in Las Vegas offers. We also have a mobile Strong Start Academy. And, I've been to many of the Strong Start Academy after school programs in my ward and read with the children. I mean, there's a need everywhere because most couples are working, especially now we're in a time of high inflation. One of the things that we really did champion as a city with education was when COVID hit and all the schools closed, we kept it open and we were tutoring and taking care of children. And I think that's one of the reasons that we decided to use our ARPA money from COVID to start our first charter school in the city of Las Vegas in an underserved area. And it's thriving and it's bilingual. And you have people even from my ward that sign up to go there because it's open to all wards. But I think that now that Assembly Bill 400 in the last legislative session allowed us to support charter schools, I'm going to take it and run. I think it's really important that we do everything we can in every branch of government for education. People would say, well, it's not in your purview. Yeah, well, it is now. And it wasn't that it wasn't in our purview. We just started a charter school because we could. Mm-hmm. And when you're failing in the nation as a city with education, it's time to think outside the box. Yeah. And that's why I love what you do here at Sapience so much, because you're tutoring children, you're bringing that to the city, and it's much needed, and it's a different way of educating. And, I support what you do, and it's very exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm also proud of what we do here. I think bridging gaps whenever we can, and, just so kind of like you were talking about with the different wards is like everyone being on the same page is so important.
Exactly. And there are children that, the schools in Ward 2 might be doing a little bit better, but there are kids failing in all of our public schools. Mm-hmm. All of them.
Right. Yep. And you know what? More resources is never a bad thing.
That's right. And we need to work together collaboratively and make sure that, like you said, we're bridging the gaps wherever we need to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Totally agree. Can you talk a little bit more about your background as an entrepreneur and how do you leverage this experience to enhance economic development in Las Vegas?
I think my background is what's really helped me as a city councilwoman, because first of all, besides working with other businesses and bringing them in for economic diversity and development, we're also problem solvers. When you own a small business or any business, you're a problem solver. That's what you do. You can't fail. If you fail, you're done. So you have to find solutions. And I think it's helped me as an elected official be able to have that background that's so important, because we never look at a problem and say, oh, well, we can't fix that. We can fix everything. We have to fix everything, even if it means bringing in other people in a different capacity. But we are problem solvers. And as far as economic diversity and development, who better than someone who understands business and what is needed in the community, and who understands the struggles that businesses go to and how do you get them to your city? It's very important. What are they looking for? To be able to offer them incentives. So I think my background has really helped as an elected official in everything that I'm doing, in economic development, diversity, in education, everything, because we really do think outside the box.
Yeah. I think being able to think outside the box, being able to come up with creative solutions is something that also translates into different issues. You were talking about how maybe education wasn't initially on your radar, but now it's come on your radar, and things, you are able to use your background as a businesswoman to translate the problem-solving skills into many different areas that are beneficial, not just for your ward or, another ward, but for Las Vegas as a community. Yeah.
Because if one ward fails, we all fail.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. We are a tight-knit group here in Las Vegas, and I totally agree with that. Yeah. Okay. So what strategies are you implementing to support small businesses and promote sustainable economic growth in our city?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is look and see what's stifling them. And having been on the council now for 5 years, part of it is the way that we streamline it, the bureaucracy, the red tape that's involved. It shouldn't take someone months and months to go through their business licensing and their permitting processes, because we see businesses that are already paying on loans. And it's important to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to streamline how they do business.
Yeah.
And then support them in every way that we can. One of the things that I like to do is have those business roundtables and really listen to other small businesses and see what their issues are. The other thing, one of the things that I've done since I got elected is I do a small business every week where I feature and showcase a small business in the city of Las Vegas. It started in Ward 2, but then we realized, well, the entire city services Ward 2 in their business. And so it's important to show them as an elected official, I'm supporting you. What do you need from us? So, it can be any issue that people come to me at the office, and we make sure that we're involving them with our economic development department so we can work on issues that are important to them.
Absolutely. I love that you highlight the voices of small businesses on your platform. I think so often we see political officials who don't use their platform to kind of implement the changes they want to see. So I love that you highlight small businesses. I think that just speaks to you and your values as a person. So I think that's so amazing.
Thank you. It's really important to make sure. You usually look at government as if they're coming to your door, they're coming for taxes, they're coming for code enforcement. I want people to see us coming to say, hey, we're your partner here. Yeah. I've never understood why government isn't more business friendly, because we're collecting revenue to do our services. So the sooner that they're ready to open their doors, the sooner we're collecting revenue to take care of the needs of the community. That's how we do it.
It's a cycle.
Yes,
it's a cycle. Solve the problems we need to solve if we,
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. I want to ask you, how do you see your role as local government in supporting education and youth programs?
Well, just like I said, we have so many programs at the city of Las Vegas to help youth development. We created that under Mayor Goodman, and I think it's a great program. I want to continue that in every way with workforce, with making sure we're helping them to stay in schools. We do little grant programs for youth development, and again, just supporting those charter schools and getting us moving on that, I think is really important, so that every child has an opportunity for the best education, and working with, Sapience and these, whatever we can do to help you get involved in the community to help us. Absolutely. Because we all have to work together to make sure that the children are getting everything that they need. And we can't do it all. Government can't do it all. The school district certainly can't do it all. And so we need to kind of work together with different programs and see where everybody can fit in.
So that brings me to another question. So how do you suggest that parents really get involved in that process and, do things that help government officials speed along the process of implementing important changes for their children?
Yeah, well, I think first we have to create that culture of you should be involved with your children's education. I think people are so busy trying to put food on the table right now that's sometimes in some families might be the last thing that they think about. But we need to be there to support in any way that we can, providing programs, working with the community that provides programs, and offer that help and offer it to the parents. And I think with our after-school programs where we allow people to come in, there are certain wards that we don't charge for them for the Strong Start Academy, so the parents can work. But being there and supporting them in a way that we say, we care about what happens to your child. This education is important, and we're here for you.
Right. That's so important. And I love that you aim to support parents through that journey. As a parent myself, I think it's so important that, we have officials who support the needs of our children. So
Absolutely. It's our future.
yes, yes,
We have to support our children
yes,
and create great leaders for the future.
yes, absolutely. So are there any ongoing or upcoming projects you can share with us?
So again, we're getting involved in education, which I think is really important. We have a lot of projects coming with affordable housing that is really needed and important. And one of the things that I'm really excited about is we're going to have a new shelter for our animals. We've had a decades-old problem with our shelter, and it's a multi-jurisdictional shelter. And it took me 2 years to turn that around with all the jurisdictions. And we're putting out a request for proposal. So that's very exciting for the city, county, and North Las Vegas, because we have needed to have a safe place for our animals for so long. Our rescues are bursting at the seams with animals, being fostered and so forth. So that's one exciting thing. We're excited about what's happening in Las Vegas with sports. It's not the city exactly. They're maybe coming to the county, an NBA team, the Ace team, the studios that is coming. Those are all going to land in the county, but it benefits all of us with jobs. So there's so many things happening in Las Vegas, and I'm very excited about what's to come for our future here. We're a world-class city. We're going to become the crown jewel of the West very soon. We're growing exponentially, and there's just a lot happening in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so I've lived here for quite some time now, so it's been so rewarding to see how much the city has grown, and to see people like you who are out there and helping that growth happen. It's very cool.
Yes. And I would love to see a children's hospital. I've been pushing for that for 5 years. But again, if it's in the county or the city, it doesn't matter. It benefits us all. But we all have to be a part of bringing it here and being a part of pushing for these things that we have. If we didn't, we wouldn't have an NBA coming. We wouldn't have, I was in legislature when we voted on the Raiders Stadium. So I'm very excited about that and very proud of, being a part of that, because it has been an amazing thing for Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's just another way to kind of create that sense of community that I think we all so desperately want to see and have seen over the years grow and grow and grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's move on to another question I have for you. So public safety and community engagement are pivotal to your platform. What measures have you taken to improve these areas, and what results have you seen?
So public safety is the most important issue because we have over 40 million tourists coming here every year. And we saw it bump up to almost 60 million during F1. So it is so important that we continue to support our police, our law enforcement. Almost 60% of our budget goes to law enforcement, and about 30% goes directly to Metro.
Mm-hmm.
And, I want to make sure that we continue to fund them in all the tools they need. We have meetings with Metro, with the association, and constantly hearing about what they need and to keep us safe. And we're going to be there to back them 100%. When you saw cities around this country defunding police, it was appalling. The first person we call when we need help is the police. There is no way in the city of Las Vegas we would even think of that. We would not have the jobs that we have without our tourism. It is important to make sure that public safety is number one, and I will continue to support our law enforcement. I've been endorsed in my mayoral race by every association in the state of Nevada for the work that I've done. I'll tell you some of the other great things that I love about Metro is their community engagement. They're out there meeting with the different religions. They go to the temples. They go to the churches. They go to the mosques. They're out in the different areas where there's high crime in apartment buildings, going in and doing community engagement. They've involved me in one of our apartments in Ward 2, where we do Christmas parties. We do whatever holiday comes along, we'll do a big event to get involved with the community. We've seen the crime rates go down in the areas that Metro is engaging in. And I think they've done a phenomenal job. I'll continue to do community engagement with them. In fact, yesterday they just did a peace walk, and over, I think it was in Ward 3, which is over in the east side. And I wasn't able to go, but I sent my staff to walk with them because it's so important that we show that we're here to support you, whatever you need.
Absolutely. I think that all of us can agree that public safety is a huge concern and something that we can all back in terms
And get behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so can you talk a little bit more about other ways that you've been involved in the community other than the policing or backing the police?
Involved in the community?
Yeah.
Just, we do a breakfast buzz and Ward 2 biz every single month, which we bring the community together with Metro and with our marshals and find out what the issues are and answer the questions. And everyone's been invited. It's a Ward 2 event, but we open it up for people in Las Vegas to come and answer questions. We do regular events like art in the park. We do trunk or treats. We just want to make sure that we have community events, movies in the park, so that people will understand that I think they always say that local government is where the rubber meets the road. It's important to let them know that we're here. We're here to answer questions.
Right.
We have resolved nearly 3,000 issues and concerns over the past 5 years.
Wow.
I know that because we track them.
Wow.
They track them until they're resolved, whether it be it's a federal thing and we get them in touch with their elected official, or whether it's county. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, we take that extra step to help. I think, my team has gone above and beyond with me. We've gone out in the tunnels to see what is the real issue with the homeless. I mean, we're involved with recovery. We're involved with almost every single issue you can imagine, and it's not just the issue; it's the people who are trying to resolve it. Like we just recently did a graduation for Vegas Stronger with recovery. There were over 40 people who graduated, and I was the keynote speaker there because I've been involved with recovery for a long time too. All of our partners. It's important as an elected official, I believe, to be involved with all the stakeholders in every single thing that we're dealing with, which is homelessness, affordable housing, education, you name it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think lessening that gap, right, between
what you said earlier, bridging the gap.
Yeah.
And if you're not involved to that extent, I mean, some people say, oh, it's a part-time job. Not for me. It's been a full-time job. And, I brought together a dedicated staff that if I can't go, if there's more than one thing going on, that my staff is there. We are very involved with Hope for Prisoners, all of our special courts in the city, the Veterans Court. We make sure that we go. We make sure we're involved with those community members that are graduating. We give them a certificate from the mayor and city of Las Vegas. We do that on a regular basis. They know they can call us and we'll be there. We make sure that we bring certificates to every police and fire graduation. It's so important to say, we're here, we're supporting you.
Right.
And I think that for too long, people looked at government from so far away.
Right.
And here in Las Vegas, it isn't like that.
Right. No, and I think, going above and beyond, not just saying, oh, we are here, but then doing the
going out into the
show
community.
You that we are here, like you said, going to the events, hosting the events, and making sure that you really are diving into those communities. I think, one, it creates a trust in the leadership that we have, and it also creates those changes that we all so desperately want.
It does. And you can understand their culture wherever you're going. I've been to Buddhist events. I've been to the Sikh temples. I've been to the Muslim mosque. I spend a lot of time in the Jewish community. In fact, I'm doing a big event for them for the memorial of October 7th. on October 6th at City Hall. And it's important I'm a person that's accessible. They've reached out to me, and I'll find a place for them, which we ended up finding City Hall, to help them have their events and be involved in it and say, we're here, we're part of it.
Right, absolutely. And valuing those voices and, like you said, holding places for them.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Could you tell us a little bit about what the biggest challenges you've faced in your role have been, and how have you addressed them?
The biggest challenge? Well, one of the biggest challenge was in my ward. It was the Badlands situation that's facing the city right now, which it been in the courts before I got elected, but it's challenging sometimes to work with politicians that don't take a stand. That's one of my biggest challenges. And I understand that people are worried about, their next election, or maybe they don't want to offend somebody. I think it's really important as an elected official that you absolutely take a stand on important issues. And so it's been challenging for me because I'm not in this position to not do what I need to do. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges is taking those stands when no one else will do it. And that's probably been a challenge for me, not me to take the stand, but to work with those who feel like I'm taking that stand and maybe they're not ready to take that stand.
Yeah, I totally understand. And I can respect the idea that you are in this position and you should use your voice to be definitive and declarative.
Yes.
So I respect that wholeheartedly.
And that's the difference between a public servant and a politician.
Yeah.
And I consider myself a public servant. And as long as I'm sitting in that seat, I'm gonna take on the issues that we need to take on. Too many times we kick the can down the road. And it doesn't serve anyone to do that.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree with that. Can you talk a little bit more or provide some insight into how you've navigated conflict or challenges when implementing these policies? You talked about, maybe some individuals not being ready to take that stand. Well, how do you encounter that conflict? How do you deal with it?
Let's talk about the Animal Foundation that was a decades-old problem that nobody wanted to tackle. Part of it was because it's challenging. It's hard. One of the reasons that some of my colleagues may not have wanted to take it on was because of those reasons, or maybe they had friends on the board, or maybe they were like, is this the right thing to do? They were conflicted for whatever reason. But when something needs to be changed and it's been brought to me, I'm relentless. I'm going to make sure we get that change. And it was a decades-old problem, and it took me 2 years, and we were able to make those changes, like I told you earlier, multi-jurisdictional. And how did I do it? Well, I really relied a lot on the advocates who brought it to me in the first place, and the press who brought it to me in the first place. And with the press and the advocates, we were able to do it. I can't say I did alone. I did it with the people out there in the community who actually cared. One of them was Darcy Spears, who wrote stories for years, decades, trying to get this change with, it fell on deaf ears. I'll never forget when the advocates first came to my office when I got elected in 2019. And they were angry. And I was like, why are they so angry? I just got elected. And it was because for so long, they would go into these offices and nothing would be done. And it was on deaf ears. So, I understood later their anger. But we made the changes because, if you come to me with a problem and it doesn't have to be that way, it doesn't matter how hard it is, I'm going to tackle it and I'm going to get it done. And so when you ask how I did it, it was with the community. The community are the ones who really want to change. And so you have to rely on them for help to get it done in a position like mine.
Absolutely. I have a follow-up question. So you talk about the power of being decisive. How do you conjure that up in yourself? How do you, and, for our listeners, or, when they're trying to foster this in our kids and our younger generation, how can they foster that decisiveness that you value so much and that really seems to be making an impact in our world?
I think there's a moral compass, and we all know what's right and wrong. And sometimes we don't want to tackle a tough issue that's wrong because, and I think we need to instill this in our children, that we need to stand for what's right, and things are hard. We tend to coddle our children instead of teaching them to be strong and follow that compass, And I think that we need, like I said, there's a lot of things culturally that we need to do to make sure that our children know that it's okay to tackle tough issues. It's okay to fight for what's right. It's okay not to see harm being done on another being or another living being, which sometimes it could be the ones seniors. Seniors have, we had to tackle the guardianship issue when I was in the legislature, where guardians were being abused and taken advantage of. And we started that when I was there to make sure that we protected our seniors with legislation. The ones who have no voice, dogs, seniors, children, they have no voice. And we need to fight for them. And we need to stand up and say when something is wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's so encouraging for the parents, teachers, all of our listeners, just understanding the power of advocacy and being able to stand up for the things that you really believe in.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Looking forward, what major projects or initiatives are you excited about for Ward 2 specifically in Las Vegas?
So I'm excited for many things in the city. I was hoping to get our children's hospital in Ward 2, but like I said, it doesn't matter where it goes as long as it's in Southern Nevada where it's needed. I'm excited about a lot of things. I'm excited about getting a settlement with Badlands in Ward 2. I think if we do that, we have the best win of all times. And I know that our city attorney and our city manager are working hard on that. I've worked hard on that for 5 years. And now we're at a point where we have to settle it. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about continue to have Ward 2 thrive with the, best parks. We've really revamped the parks. They hadn't been done in years in Ward 2. I'm excited about bringing more tennis courts to Ward 2, where we have a big aquatic center coming in Ward 2. I don't know if you're familiar with our sandpipers. They've gone to the Olympics.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. A friend of mine, one of her daughters is in them.
Well, they've gone to the Olympics.
Yeah.
2 of the Olympics in a row, Japan in 2020 and now Paris in 2024.
Okay.
And so one of the first things that happened when I got elected was a mother came up to me at our pavilion pool, which is where they do a lot of their practices, and says, "We just don't have enough pools here." And I said, "Okay, let me find out about it." Got a SNPLA grant, and that was one of my first SNPLA projects, was the federal funding, and I got a pool, a whole new aquatic center coming there, which will give us 2 pools in my ward that they can practice on, but they practice all over the city, but that's a really important place. So I'm really excited about that. We have a Grand Park coming in Ward 2. So there are many things. We have an art museum that will be coming to the city of Las Vegas. Not sure if you knew that.
No,
Yes.
So
Elaine Wynn has been working with us on an art museum. So we are truly going to be the crown jewel of the West very, very soon.
So excited to hear about all the things. It always makes me feel really excited because, I foresee myself staying here for a long time.
I hope so.
So it's exciting, and raising my babies here, it's cool to see the things that are coming because I, like you, always want better and more for us.
We do. We do. We want the best for our children. And you said you grew up here, or were you born here?
No, I grew up here. I was born actually in Russia. And
No, really interesting.
yeah, and so I moved here when I was about 8. I grew up in Philadelphia, or right below Philly. And then, yeah, I moved here, and now, I mean, my heart is here, and I value the community that we have, and it's been really a treasure getting to see it develop over the last 20 years.
Yes,
I've been here.
yes, I've been here 20 years as well, and I can say it's only getting better.
Oh, for sure.
It's only getting better, and as long as I'm there, I'm going to push for making this, again, like the crown jewel of the West, because, it's a great city. Everybody wants to come here. We should have everything, not just for our tourists, but for the people who live here.
Absolutely.
I mean, we deserve a museum, it's great that we have people like Elaine Wynn and different people who sit on the board of LACMA in Los Angeles that have these ideas, and they come and we partner up with them.
Right.
And it's all about public-private partnerships. And I really strongly believe in them. To get anything done, to do anything, you need those public-private partnerships.
Yeah. Well, we also have such a beautifully diverse group of people in Las Vegas. And so I think really highlighting their experiences and offering a variety of things, resources, activities, things that will motivate and improve their lives is so important. And I can clearly see that's a priority for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so from your extensive experience in both business and government, what key advice would you offer to individuals looking to make a positive impact in their own community?
So I'll say that, making a difference comes from your passion. Start with whatever your passion is and make a difference with that passion, and you'll see yourself blossom out, because then you'll learn about other things and become passionate about it. I can say that's what happened for me. My one issue was business, and now I have a passion for so many things: recovery, homelessness, making a difference with children in their education. I really believe that once you delve into whatever it is that you are passionate about in giving back, you'll see so many other things and you'll become passionate about that.
Well, it's like they say, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Right.
And that's
right.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
You do something you enjoy, you follow your passions, and you stick up for the things that you believe in, and you're not really working. You're just living your life and creating a better reality for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners about your goals or upcoming decisions that are affecting Las Vegas residents?
So I have a lot more goals in my time at the city. I probably have about 8-9 years left at the city. We term out after 12 years. And there's just so many goals that I have. We've done the pool, we've done the tennis, we're working on education, making sure that I continue to meet as many people I can to do these public-private partnerships. I just want to make sure Las Vegas is a better place than where I found it when I was elected and sworn in at City Hall. I just want to make sure that there's an equal opportunity for everyone to prosper. And, I love what I do. I love being a public servant.
That is so refreshing to hear, someone who's so passionate about what they're doing. And I really appreciate all the work that you're doing for our community. It is very, very special to me. Like I said, I'm raising my babies here, so I want to see officials who are caring about my community as much as I do.
You should bring your babies to City Hall, give them a tour.
I will. Okay, so I'm going to close out by thanking you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate hearing your perspectives and insights on economic development, public safety, community well-being. Your experiences and dedication to serving your residents is really inspiring. And if our listeners do want to learn more about you, where can they learn more about you?
VictoriaSeaman.com, or they can go to the city website.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We'll also have information on thesapience.com if you'd like to learn more about Victoria.
Thank you.
And we hope that you enjoyed learning about all of her amazing accomplishments, and we hope that you join in our conversation online. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.